We are here in the Bahamas.
We are going to make it right.
If you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know?
Great job, brother. It was fun to meet you all the
What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out this dumb beat.
Something got pop your butt.
Yeah. Oh, I can. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. Home of BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. I'm going to take my shirt off. Wait, did I say shirt?
jacket.
Greatest show in all the interwebs. Greatest community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto than this one right here. I am back, snitches. My name is Ben. I've been in DC, or as some people call it, Dick. So, I mean, that's, how else would you pronounce that? TJ?
Yeah, that's about the only way I can think of.
Dick. That's DC. That's how you say it. Get back from DC, man. We had a great time. We're going to talk about the Washington trip here in a little bit. Today is Friday, March 3rd. I just got in from the airport, which is why we're on time as always, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single day. It is, like I said, Friday, March 3rd, 71 degrees in here. I had to get up super early this morning. Ben, your arms are looking kind of skinny, bro. Nah, bro, you're wrong on that. Why would you say that? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's talk about what is going on with Bitcoin. Total collapse. The market is over. Bitcoin is going to zero. There's no question about it now, guys. Bitcoin, $50 billion drains from crypto market cap in an hour as bad news piles up. You know, I made this video last night, and I was making the video. It was probably like maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30 I was making the video. And it was going to post at 10. I guess it did post. And I was sitting there, and I was like, guys, it's great news. Silvergate collapsed, and Bitcoin didn't budge. And then while I'm recording the video, I get the BitGet alert. Bitcoin drops 2.2% in 5 minutes. I was like, great, cool. I guess maybe a drop now, But let's check out as bad news piles up. Is this really what's going on? Bad news piling up. Within a very short time frame, the majority of the crypto market has taken a massive turn for the worse. What a freaking overgeneralization. A massive turn for the worst. Bitcoin's at $23,000. Losing its budget $50 billion to its market cap in 1 hour as the news of possible adverse implications for the sector continued to arrive one after another. We've got the crash of Silvergate, the upcoming hot consumer price index, and Mt. Gox creditors possibly receiving massive Bitcoin reimbursements. This is the first time we've ever heard this. This is the first time we've ever heard that Mt. Gox would be paying people back, and it's going to happen sometime. Wow. What do you think about that?
I'm actually happy this is finally going to happen because I'm so tired of hearing about how this is going to send the price.
It's not going to happen. That's the whole thing. It's not going to happen.
Well, even if it did, even if whatever repayments happen, however it gets settled, it's not going to have nearly as much price impact. So I'll just be glad when we get it behind us. Guys,
years from that. We're years from Mt. Gox stuff being over, I think. Remember, don't you guys remember when, I think it was Ran made a video, and Ren was like, this is it. The market's going to dump. The Mt. Gox. People are getting their money back in April or March or whatever it was last year, And I said, I believe it when I see it. Guys, we've been hearing about this Mt. Gox every freaking month for 9 years now. 9 freaking years we've been hearing this. How many people got their money back? 0. I got the Mt. Gox email yesterday morning. I still get emails from them whenever they're doing these reimbursements. And it's so freaking complicated to do these reimbursements. Similar, and this is what, it doesn't bode well for what's going on with Celsius, Are we actually going to ever see money? We don't want to end up in a Mt. Gox situation where it drags on forever. But that is so freaking stupid that anybody at this point is like a Chinese crypto ban. Like we hear it all the freaking time. Why would that move the market? It doesn't. Specifically, some financial experts believe that the CPI report meaning could indicate an acceleration of it as much as 50 basis points, according to TD Securities, Priya Mishra, and Cetera Investment Management, Gene Goldman. Wow, is he related to Sachs? So that happened, guys. We lost so much off the market. $200 million of Bitcoin long liquidations as Bitcoin drops to $22,000. Oh my gosh, excuse me, $22,000. So there you go with that. And the dollar's sharp recovery puts Bitcoin's 25K breakout prospects at risk. It does feel like at this point, Bitcoin's going to go down back down to around 20K. It does feel that way. We'll see what happens. But the dollar, like these people, the way they write these freaking articles and act like everything hinges and swings way one way or way the other way. It doesn't. Bitcoin's just slowly but surely recovering from the market, from the bull market. Now it's in a bear market, or well, technically you could argue it's a bull market. Technically, we will look back in the future and call it a bull market. Right now, it doesn't feel like it. But, you know, it's like the dollar moves the DXY moves a couple percent, and it's like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's over. Who are these people? Why do they write articles like this? It's really dumb, in my opinion. Notably, the DXY has risen 4% of its February low, amid anticipations that the Federal Reserve will continue raising benchmark rates to cool inflation. Now, keep in mind, they didn't say that. Like, people are just speculating. They're just making this up. The Fed said that they were going to raise 0.25 a couple more times. They just said that in the minutes of last month's meeting. I want you to pay attention here. February 3rd low, okay? February 3rd low. When did they make that? When did the minutes come out? You know? Middle of February, I think.
Yeah, they came out, towards, I guess it was middle to the end, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That would have been middle of February, I guess.
Wait. Was that 2 weeks ago? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
I mean, we're on March 3rd.
The point being, the Fed meeting occurred and these minutes came out after it hit a low and it already started moving up. Things were already looking like they weren't going great. And they said, we're not going to plan on raising more than 2.25 a couple more times this year. Will they come out and pivot? I don't know. That would be disastrous if they did, but I don't think they're going to. Sean Meir says, just got a 20K bonus from work and want to throw it all in crypto. Would you wait for a bigger drop, start DCAing, or throw it all in now? What do you think?
What do I think is the right thing to do, or what would I do?
I mean, I would say put half of it in now and dollar cost average the rest.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I would put, that's probably what you see a big dip like this, you might as well take a swing at it. We were kind of talking, I think we will see 20 to just under 20 before we see 26. It feels like we do need to go down and retest that support before we get back above 25.
Yeah.
So you might as well keep a little dry powder on the side. And that's something I want to remind people a lot throughout this year. If it's anything like 2019, you're going to have plenty of time to accumulate. Don't feel like you're missing out. So throwing some in now so you feel like you're taking advantage of the dip, but holding some back so that way you have more time to continue to buy. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Who is this lady these people are talking about in the comments? I don't know. Very strange. All right, let's check out the markets. We're going to start looking at CoinGecko, guys. I got a nice subscription there for the Pro. I don't have it signed in right now, but we're going to be using Pro CoinGecko. So one thing we're going to have to get used to if we're using CoinGecko is the difference in the market caps. So the market cap on CoinMarketCap is showing 1.026. On CoinGecko, it's showing 1.075. Why is CoinGecko more? Well, it's because they have more coins on CoinGecko, and they consider like Hex to play into that, and some other exchanges don't. Cal Masari says 40K ADA coins or 5 ETH for next run. Great question. I'm going to go with the Cardano, I think. Nope. I'm going to go with the ADA. I'm going to go with the ADA. It's very close. I could go either way. or as TJ likes to do, he can go both ways.
Right.
I can go either way. TJ can go both ways. All right. Checking out the overall price of Bitcoin right now, $22,360. Wow. Ethereum, $15.69. BNB back under 300. XRP at 36 cents. Cardano at 34 cents. OKB, this thing has really came out of nowhere and risen. It's top 10 coin now. OKB, of course, the coin of OKX, the exchange. Or maybe they just call it OK Coin now. I can't remember. Dogecoin, Polygon, Solana down at 13. It's down 11% for the week. Polkadot down 14.7% for the week. Shiba down 14%. Polygon down 14%. Polygon may be a good buy right now. Cardano 11.6. Just look at the 7 days. Okay. Top gainers of the day. We got Casper Network. Cool. Mutable X. I think Casper Network is one I want to get in the portfolio. Maker, Trust Wallet. There you go. Biggest gainers of the week. Maker, Casper Network, Singularity. Ben Kurtz will be on the channel, I think, on the 23rd. We were going to go to Kelly for some TA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring him on. Let's do it.
Need your earpiece?
No, I'm just going to let him
What's
talk.
up?
Pay attention.
What's up, Kelly?
How's everybody doing, man? I was having a lot of technical issues this morning, but I think I got it all sorted out. Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and thank you for having me back on, is I covered this in the BitLab morning stream on YouTube earlier, 10:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. And that is exactly that there was some leading things that could have prepared anybody that was taking advantage of the resources that we have available to us to see that there was very likely some sell pressure coming in at this level. And we could have taken advantage of that. And I'm going to go through some of those things now. And the first thing I want to sort of jump into is you mentioned about the DXY. You know, we are in this rising sort of rising wedge here, which is inherently bearish, but at some point this hopefully will break down. And if this breaks down, of course, that will lead to sort of a signal that liquidity is coming back into the market. But you also pointed out, you've been pointing out regularly about the CME futures gap. And I do want to point out that we do have one directly above us and below us. Of course, what I'd prefer to see is have this come down, and I don't want it to break all the way through this, but come down at least with the wick and tap this area, which is in that basically $19,900 to $20,500 range. And we can see, you'll see here with a few charts, why I feel like this is likely. As bullish as I am, I do think we need to have some sort of some of the short-term holders and some of the weak hands in the market wash themselves out. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Of course, you brought up the liquidations. Look at all these liquidations. Could we have been prepared? Absolutely, we could have. And the first thing I want to look at is this on-chain chart that shows the long-term holder position change. Now, when you think about long-term holders, I want people to really consider that instead of the word long-term holder, if that's confusing, just think people with conviction versus short-term holder, people that are weak hands or just active traders. And active traders are not going to price at a level. They're hoping for price to fall if it is near a local top. Now, what I want you to notice is if I zoom in here, we can see that basically the supply of long-term holders started increasing right here, meaning long-term holders were increasing how much that they were holding at these levels. This is a very sort of bullish divergence on the strength of the market, strength of holders in the market. And what do we see right here? They're starting to reduce their positions into this. And for them to reduce their positions, this is also indicative of them selling to short-term holders, meaning the market is getting weaker at these levels. And of course, we know that we have a previous top here that we were never able to through. And not only that, not only are they reducing their position size, showing market weakness at these levels, they're also very actively, as we can see as this goes negative, very proactively sort of reducing their positions, meaning they're taking profits. They're getting out of positions, making this top heavy with weak-handed holders. Now, if we move on to the next chart, we can see the complete inverse of that, where we see that weakness coming into the market. Look at this. They're getting out of positions because they're scared. Weak hands are scared at these levels. And they're excited to buy hype because all of us are idiots at some point, and we need to grow out of that because we have this data available to us. This is people basically impatient people buying from patient people, and we see weakness coming into this market, and so we can foreshadow if we're having more weak people more weak hands buying at these levels than strong hands, then we can also sort of foreshadow that there's weakness coming into the market. We could see some sort of downtrend. We also see this reflected on the exchange net position change chart. If we sort of zoom in right here, this is at the local top that we have. This is the behavior that we're able to see. Now, on-chain data doesn't give you the exact buy or sell signals. What it does is it provides you the opportunity to see the behavior of everybody on the network. And we can see that people were preparing themselves. They're taking their coins out of cold storage, out of private holdings, and moving them onto liquid supply on exchanges, which we can infer typically results also in price actions shortly thereafter falling, because we're seeing people preparing to sell, and then we see it acting out on the chart with actual price action falling. And the one thing I do want to point out, the last on-chain chart before we jump into actually some TA, is we brought up the CME gap. Now, this is the strong hands, the long-term holder realized price. This is a very important metric. Typically, when we get below it, we could see have been excellent zones of accumulation towards the end of bear markets. Here, we also see it here. We barely tapped it here in the economic shutdown in March 2020. And then, of course, following the FTX collapse, we can see right here, this was that accumulation zone. Now, the interesting thing about this, if we look, I'm going to zoom in on this just a little bit more. The interesting thing about the long-term holder price, look at that, $19,800. This is right inside that gap that we were talking about. That is the CME futures gap. So we have some support there that would be important to hold. It's not the end of the world if we do break down here and do sort of a triple bottom in this region, but it does show that we do have a bullish sort of case that if this does come down and bounce there, that it would still have a lot of support coming in. Now, looking specifically at the price action charts, with the BitLab trading stack that we have, this called a lot of the moves perfectly. And I just want to point this out because we have a lot of people that have basically become members and that are in the community using this. And I just want to point out that we had this downtrend resistance and we came in perfectly. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4 points of confluence sort of calling this rejection right here. And that's because significant movement here. This essentially is aggregating the data between MACD, momentum, RSI, different strength and momentum indicators, and showing that all those signals combined are above average and past basically over bought level. Now, the reason I have this as a 1 is because this is already overheated going into this move. This signals to me, okay, let me look for another signal. Almost immediately, we get the relative extrema saying this is moving too quickly. There's not much behind this move to the upside. That's what you see when we. Look at these bars sticking outside of this cloud. This is showing an unhealthy move. So that's our 1, 2 points of confluence. Third point of confluence, we have 4 different bearish divergences on MACD histogram, the stochastics, bearish divergence on momentum, money flow, also bearish divergence. And then finally, we get a fourth point of confluence that really nails it home. We have this high pivot, which is more specifically coded in to read what the action is of actual pivot points on the chart. You see this calls these really, really excellently as to what's happening with chart patterns, several candle price opens and closes, that this combined with the strength signals, momentum signals, this was a perfect call to the downside. Now, with this, was there anything that any of us could do to sort of predict or at least give a target as to what was going to happen on price action? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, what we can always utilize, Fibonacci's are so amazing. We see this previous price action interaction over here, but if we take I'm going to delete this fib. If a quick tip for you real quick, if you have much on your screen or multiple, if you do, you can minimize them. If we come in this local area right here with this range high, we put our mouse right about that area. If you're on Mac, you do Option F. If you're on PC, you do Alt F. Click on the chart. You immediately have a fib. You don't have to do your toolbar. And then just move your mouse up to this range. And then if we do that, we get this fib. Now look at this one. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. This came right to the 1.618, which is an excellent zone. And it's always good to find confluence between multiple signals. Where is this 1.8 extension to the downside located? Right in line with previous price action, highs, interaction, resistance, and support. And so this gave a great indication that if you were taking a short, this may be a good opportunity to get some sort of take profit zone in that level. Now, the last thing I'll go to before I throw it back over to you is that we do want to also look at Ethereum. I do think that there's going to be more downside on Bitcoin, by the way. On next level, I'm looking low is 21.4, and if below that, then down at that $20,000 level to tap that liquidity in the CME gap. Now, looking over here at Ethereum, we could see on this basically had the same thing play out, range low to range high. We could actually draw this up just a little bit. We could see price action came down pretty close to previous price action interaction right here. I can do Option J or Alt J to do a horizontal ray. And this is also in the region of the 1.618. That's how we can utilize these various targets and tools to find those targets, and look at indicators calling it perfectly. So at the end of the day, we could have utilized all of this different data to forecast that there is weakness at those levels, and then we can utilize the TA, much of which I cover over inside BitLab Academy, along with Frankie Candles, along with Ben, along with TJ. So much going on in BitLab Academy, so many updates coming to break down every step of the way, all the tools and psychology and everything. But that's what I'm seeing. That's how I'm feeling. Downside 19.9 is kind of where I'm thinking it's going. If not, we still got to watch that 25.2 level.
All right. Is there one more thing?
One more thing. I love you, Ben.
Love you, Kelly. Thank you for coming on, Kelly. You guys make sure to go check out bitlabacademy.com. And of course, make sure to check out the BitLab Academy on YouTube as well. You can get to it from our YouTube homepage. There is one more thing. One more thing. Okay.
I did forget to mention, head over to bitlabacademy.com, and for the BitSquad, you can use BitSquad 15 for 15% off Academy or courses. And all the updates are rolling out here in the matter of, we're on the edge of doing that. So get involved now, because the prices will be going up. Everybody that's inside of it, get inside of it. It's fun to be inside of it before the prices go up, because you'll have those lower prices for the life of your account.
That's it, guys. That's
no
right.
more things.
It's fun to be on the inside of it. And thank you, Kelly, for edging us the whole time. That was cool. He said that that we're on the edge.
Yeah.
He's edging us with BitLab Academy. We're super excited about that. All right. They would pay some out from Mt. Gox on the 8th of March. Here's what I have to tell you. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see it, I'll believe it. I will never fall victim to believing a date that they say. I have a Mt. Gox claim. I was using Mt. Gox in freaking 2012. I got a lot of history with this company. They don't ever do what they say they're going to do. So there you go. All right. So let's move on here. Twitter buzz. All right. Douglas A. Bonneporth. Today I was invited to my 4-year-old's preschool for show and tell. I showed them my portfolio. I've never seen so many kids cry. Was that an attempt at a joke?
I think it was.
Let's move on. Breaking. Apple iPhone maker Foxconn playing $700 million playing in India and shift away from China. Well, I will tell you guys something. I got some really, really, really interesting information about China. And I was also told unequivocally, do not use TikTok by someone who would know. Now, am I going to keep using TikTok? Yeah, I probably am, because I like it.
We're live on TikTok right now.
We're live on TikTok right now. I like TikTok, but there's some scary stuff with it, obviously. But, I don't know if I can give it up. I'm too addicted. Now, I don't use TikTok a lot, but when I do, I watch it for a long time. Okay, all right. Binance partners with law enforcement agencies to launch anti-scam campaign. Now, that's what I saw. So Binance said they're working with the FBI. That's what they said.
That's good, I guess.
But I thought that they all wanted to arrest Binance. Why would the FBI work with Binance when Binance is a scam and the government's coming after him and sees he's going to go to prison and, they don't have any money. They're insolvent. Kevin O'Leary hates them. He hates me too. Which, by the way, I talked to somebody in Washington who is friends with Kevin O'Leary. Friends. And I said, yeah, he blocked me on Twitter. And they said, he doesn't really block people on Twitter. I said, yeah, I know. I achieved immortal anti-Kevin O'Leary status. Okay. Let's move on here to the news. We have Signature Bank unwinding. They continue its orderly crypto unwind as cryptocurrency retreat continues. Signature Bank books sharp drop in digital asset deposits, but it still holds deposits of $89. Their mid-quarter update took on significance this time around in the wake of continued turbulence in the crypto world. Signature Bank stock fell 1% in pre-market trades on Friday. Silvergate Capital rose 1.8%. Dropping back from a 58% drop. As a component of the S&P 500, Signature Bank has a relatively diversified banking business, but it holds digital asset deposits. Been working to wind down that business in light of troubles in the crypto world overall. Can we just call this what it is? Can we say Silvergate Bank? Like that's the tie-in, right? Signature Bank and Silvergate have some kind of relationship, I believe. Or Signature Bank uses maybe something like a similar process to what Silvergate Bank uses for its kind of blockchain backing.
It looked like we saw a lot of people jumping ship from Silvergate to Signature yesterday. Like people like Coinbase, Kraken, a lot of those people were taking their business away from Silvergate and moving towards Signature.
Who did?
Coinbase.
Just now?
Yesterday.
Yesterday they moved to Signature?
Well,
for their payment processing?
They stopped using Silvergate.
I knew they stopped using Silvergate.
And then Kraken, and who was there? There's Paxos, pretty much everybody. And it's a lot of people talking about, Operation Choke Point. This could be part of that. What we had Gareth on yesterday. He brought up he said something that really got me start to thinking. I didn't even know this happened back in, he follows the traditional markets a lot more. He says a lot of times when you get a bank that's in this type of situation where they're short on money, some of these big players can come in and make just a sweetheart deal. Apparently, that's what Warren Buffett did. Goldman Sachs was on the verge of going under, and they came in and bailed out Goldman Sachs, made billions of dollars from it.
Another thing to thank Warren Buffett for.
Right, yeah. And it's rumored right now that Citadel is in the verge. Citadel owns 5.5% of Silvergate.
Yeah.
And it's rumored now that they might step in and do a bailout of Silvergate and could end up taking it over outright. Citadel owns Robinhood, a lot of other things as well. So interesting angle there.
Well, of course, you guys know that George Soros is shorting Silvergate.
Yep.
Has been shorting it since I think the top.
Yeah,
or the local top at least.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Silvergate with most shorted stock on the stock exchange right now, basically. But you've got BlackRock and Citadel and some of the other big dogs buying it.
Yeah.
And Soros shorting it. So you got a battle of the heavyweights here. So there's definitely, I guarantee there's stuff going on that we don't, that's kind of the public doesn't know about, and that's kind of what Gareth was alluding to. Like they're not surprised by the news that came out yesterday. Some of the people like BlackRock that are bankrolling it. Citadel, of course, if they're involved with that. So it's I think this is all tied together with Operation Choke Point and everything that's going on right now. It's just what exactly the tie-in is going to be unforeseen at this moment.
Who is Alina Garcia?
Oh, that name sounds really familiar.
It's all over the chat today.
It might be
many different people saying it.
Might be don't hold me to this, but it might be one of those like scammer comment.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. I can tell there. I think there's enough people randomly mentioning her that it's like Chuck Norris jokes, similar. So if y'all could please tell me. Oh, they said he closed his shorts already. Is that true?
I don't know.
So I don't know. I'm really confused. Dave Digital is laughing at me. Crimson Caravan Company is laughing at me. Creighton C is.
Those are a lot of our regulars, so they all know.
88 Metal Mania says, stop and you don't know Alina Garcia, WTF. It was from DZ's show. Something happened with Alina Garcia and DZ.
I have no idea.
She's a singer. She's the Ghost of Darkness. AOC, do you know who Alina Garcia is? She freaking knows. She freaking knows. It's weird. Google search. I Google searched and I got nothing.
Yeah, I would say I would imagine it's a pretty common name. Is there a tie to crypto involved with this? Because
I searched Alina Garcia crypto and it came up with somebody who, is this her?
World's first adaptable robotic.
We taking an unusual login attempt? That seems like a scam.
What? There's just weird stuff out here.
I know. Oh, she had Alina Garcia had bots trying to get into the candle. That's all of our Candle Mafia people. They came in for the Candle Mafia and they turned her into a meme. She's basically the new Kenny, they say.
Gotcha.
She's a new Kenny. Okay, so let's see here. MicroStrategy claims minimal exposure to crypto as crypto.com, Coinbase, and Gemini pause transactions with Silvergate Bank. What's going on? It's falling apart and the government's going after it. Not rocket science here. MicroStrategy has denied any meaningful exposure to Silvergate as crypto firms who dealt with the crypto bank. I see they're in there at 12:15. They know we're not doing until 12:30, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. MicroStrategy has denied any meaningful exposure to Silvergate. We have a loan from Silvergate not due until 25. That's what they say. Aside from MicroStrategy, Paolo Arduino, the CTO of Tether, also pointed out in a recent tweet, Tether is not exposed to Silvergate. Multiple other companies, including Coinbase, Paxos, Galaxy Digital, and Kraken, have ended their relationship. It's worth noting the troubles might spill into the mainstream banking system, some about the federal home loan banks, yada, yada, yada.
I think that's overblown.
I do as
We
well.
were looking at that the other day. It was like 0.01%, something like that, exposure.
We have, will crypto-friendly bank Silvergate file for bankruptcy this weekend? If the bank collapses, Federal Deposit, the FDIC, of course, might overtake the bank in order to protect depositors. Silvergate also faces class action lawsuits. Harmed investors allege Silvergate failed to warn them about deficiencies. Talking about FTX specifically there. Let's see. Elizabeth Warren sent a letter to Silvergate CEO Alex Lane expressing concern about introducing crypto market risk. Yeah, the banking broad. She's always doing her job. The banking broad, always doing her job.
Her job defending the banks?
Defending the banks. That's right. I thought she was against the banks.
Right.
No, guys, she loves the banks. They're her best friends.
Follow the money.
HSBC and Nationwide placed fresh restrictions on crypto purchases in the UK. Notably, two financial institutions highlighted a warning from the FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority. Blah, 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 blah. Previous week, users of Twitter published an email saying, sent to them discussing the purchase of cryptos by HSBC. HSBC no longer allowing cryptocurrency purchases using our credit cards. This is because of the possible risk to you.
Right.
Oh, so all the banks are collapsing. None of them have the money they say they're going to say. But you want to protect me from my financial decisions. Good job. So excited about that. All right. U.S. lawmakers say SEC directive may bring greater risk of loss. Cynthia Lummis and Patrick McHenry cite the Celsius bankruptcy in refuting an April 2022 bulletin. In a Thursday letter to federal officials, the FDIC, Federal Reserve, and Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the dumbest named organization in the government, but that's another story, and National Credit Union Administrator, lawmakers called out a SAB, a staff accounting bulletin issued by the SEC last April. While the bulletin was intended to clarify how to account for digital assets held by custodians, exchanges, and other platforms, Lummis and McHenry say its pronouncements would place customer assets in a greater risk of loss of the custodian's collapse, violating the SEC's fundamental mission to protect customers. The lawmakers cited a subsequent decision in the Celsius bankruptcy, which classified all Celsius customers as unsecured creditors and thus placed them at the back of the line to recover their assets. The letter asked the agencies if they plan to direct banks and other financial institutions within their jurisdiction to comply with the terms of the bulletin, or if they believe the SEC potentially weakens consumer protection by preventing well-regulated banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions from providing custodial services. So pretty interesting stuff going on here. Lummis and McHenry gave the agencies until March 16th to clarify the points. So very interesting, very interesting. Then we have some tweets from me. Check that out. Look at that. Washington, D.C. is caught up to crypto. There they are. They finally made it. Oh, which, by the way, we had to go to 3 Barnes & Nobles to get enough books to take to the Office of Congress we met with this week.
Any updates you want to give on that?
On what?
On the trip.
Yeah. We're going. I'm checking out the tweets here because I think it's the one we talked about this. Here it is. After spending all day meeting with congressional offices yesterday, I can tell you one thing is extremely clear. I'm the only person representing retail interests in DC. The industry is very well represented, and I'm trying to make sure that you are too. Now, here's the problem. Okay, when we met with 6 different offices, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, and what we can tell you is the industry is represented. Coinbase is very well represented. Coinbase talks to all these people. Coinbase is very, very, very active. Okay. You have other exchanges that are doing stuff up there. You have lobbying groups that are acting on behalf of crypto, right? You have Blockchain Association, you have Coin Center. But it's weird. These people are all representing business interests in crypto for the most part. Nobody's representing the retail investor. The Congress people have no idea what the retail investor wants. So one thing we're going to be doing, TJ, so we were asked to do several things. One thing we were asked is to create a document. Here's the most shocking thing of the whole trip, TJ. The most shocking thing of the entire trip was not one person we talked to, and we asked every single person, not one person knew the library case existed.
Wow. Which is a huge case.
Huge case.
Precedent, all of it. Yeah.
Yes. Unbelievable. Like, I was just like, how do you not know this?
Which tells you the SEC or Gary Gensler SEC clearly does not want
suppression.
Them to. Yeah.
Suppression, Gary. Because here's the thing. The thing is, and people need to understand this. I know I've talked about it a few times. This is what's important. Gary Gensler won the case against the library. Won it. John Deaton and the judge together determined through John Deaton's testimony, the secondary sales are not a security. They have utility. Secondary sales are not security. What does that mean? That means the SEC won the case and is still not going to get to regulate library.
Yep.
That's the only precedent we have in crypto, guys. Secondary market sales are not securities. Only token sales are. Why? They're going after token sales. Why? Enforcement, money. Here's the thing. You guys may not know this, but all the money, somebody asked this question. We had an AMA in our policy Discord yesterday, which I don't know. Do we need to make sure that policy Discord is on our list of all of our links? Because it's not. So we want to make sure that that goes in the description every day. Well, the point is that somebody asked, they said, well, do you think the government is just letting Gary Gensler run unchecked because he's bringing in so much money for them? No, guys, all the money that comes in only goes to the SEC. It doesn't go other places. He's not bringing in money for the government. He's not bringing in money for the politicians. He's literally only bringing money in to enrich his commission. That's it, right? And now, think about all of these lawsuits he's got against all these different securities. They're going to go after the token sale. They're going to make money. None of this stuff is getting regulated by Gary Gensler. He can't. He's already lost. He's already lost. So one thing we were asked to do was to create a document detailing exactly why the library case was important and what it means for precedent going forward. And so I called John Deaton yesterday and talked to him. So he's helping me create that document. We're going to be sending that. All Congress is going to get to see that if they want to. Now, the ones we talked to are for sure. But how much it gets circulated, it needs to be circulated. It needs to be circulated. So that was one thing that came out of our trip. Another thing is we should talk about the bill probably next week. We just don't have time today. Monday, we'll get into it. But we're going to tell you guys what our bill is on Monday. So I hope you guys are excited for that.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about a little bit of our bill is actually probably going to not be as great of a plan as the plan we talked. The point is, the bill is going to evolve, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what it moves to. I can't even really talk about what it's going to move to, but it will be evolving. It's actually a better thing for crypto. So excited about that. The other thing is we're going to be looking at putting together quarterly reports, because here's what's very clear from going to Washington. Very clear. Number one, retail interests are not represented. Number two is that there's a huge disconnect between what the staffers are pulling as press releases and what's going on in crypto and the crypto culture. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring crypto Twitter to Washington. That's what I'm going to do. All the important stuff that happens on Twitter. And look, certainly, some people have a problem with crypto Twitter because some people get attacked and stuff. Not me. Never me. I never get attacked on crypto Twitter. I'm a big proponent of crypto Twitter. And the fact is that we're going to be bringing the culture of crypto, what's popular to the retail investor, what's popular in the crypto sentiment circle, to Washington, because they're missing it completely. They don't know anything that's important to us. So another thing we were asked to do, which this is pretty cool, TJ, you're going to like this. We need to probably on Monday or Tuesday create a survey And we're going to use that survey to send out to our audience, where you guys get like a Google Doc, and you guys are going to anonymously be able to tell us what you think is important about stablecoin regulation. Washington wants to see that. They want to see what the retail, because the stablecoin bill is coming first. Our bill will not be able to go through it all in any form until the stablecoin bill is done. That's what we've been told. Every single office told us that. They told us that the stablecoin bill is coming. It's not public yet. The language is not public yet, but it's coming. Usually the way that works is it comes on the heels of a hearing. They've got a hearing going on next week called Coincidence or Coordination. Finally got it. The administration's attack on digital assets. And we were actually with a Democratic staffer when that was received, the title of that. And they were like, oh. But even when they saw the title, though, they told us that, well, the title's a little, but we think it's going to be bipartisan. We think it's going to be productive. So that was really good to hear. Hi, BitBoy. Silvergate goes into liquidation. What do you think Bitcoin will drop to? I don't think it's relevant. It's already baked in at this point. Everybody knows Silvergate's going to collapse. It's been this way for 3 months now. Same thing with Digital Currency Group when it collapsed. So I don't think it's going to do much to the price of Bitcoin. It might drop on the panic for a day or so, but I don't think it's going to be very significant.
Well, and I think it would be in line with what we were kind of already outlining, like retesting 20K or some. It's not going to go to a new low. I would say that much. Like even if it goes back down to the bottom end of this range, that's also consistent with what we're expecting.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe politicians when they talk. Not one politician you talk to heard anything about the library case. They must not follow crypto at all. Well, at least they know now. That's the disconnect. There's a disconnect, and we're going to be sending out a quarterly state of the space to Congress. So they're going to be seeing that, and then we're working on hopefully trying to figure out a way to get presentations in front of them once a month so they understand what's happening in crypto. So Visualized Media says, Ben, it was a pleasure meeting you in NYC. I truly thank you for proving info about crypto. Also, thank you for providing the most encouragement towards my brother, Justin. Oh, yeah, I remember Justin. Hope he's doing well. Keep up the good work on crypto. Yeah, well, that's what we do. We keep up the good work. So we got to create that. I want to know, what kind of questions do you guys in the chat, what kind of questions do you think we should ask for this stablecoin survey that we're going to be doing? So I'd love to see that. Let's see here. All right. They say no fiat on-ramps though, right? Guys, there's going to be solutions for that. Silvergate is not the only payment processor of that stuff. So we're going to run through these headlines real quick as we get ready for our guests to come on. We're going to be talking about stopping the SEC with a couple guys from a political activist organization in crypto. You guys are going to have to find out about. So there's your teaser. Club for Growth asked South Dakota governor to veto bill that says Bitcoin isn't money. I thought it was Minnesota. It was South Dakota. Was that what you were saying, Ryan? The Minnesota was actually South Dakota. Now, people don't know this. South Dakota is actually next to Minnesota. So it makes sense.
It's cold.
It's cold. Senator Elizabeth Warren and colleagues demand to see Binance's balance sheets. You can't. They're a foreign company. You don't have access to ask for that. It's unbelievable what these people don't seem to know. Ben, regarding the library case, do you think XRP Dragon Library will get listed on Coinbase? Brian is aggressive and has connections. XRP will get listed on Coinbase, but not until after the case. Library and Dragon, I'm not sure about. They're not really popular coins right now, so I don't know why they would. SEC objection to Voyager Binance deal questioned by U.S. judge. Judge told SEC they could shove it, which was cool. Binance hackathon winner accused the company of copying his AI to NFT platform. Binance revealed its eerily similar project Bicasso. Well, that's interesting. So I'll have to look into that another time. The winner, that's interesting. Meta faces opposition from U.S. senators over Horizon World's marketing to teens. Meta is facing more problem with respect to its metaverse plans, with Democratic senators calling for the company not to release Horizon Worlds to teens. What? That's kind of weird. We've got Blur, founder of Blur, the pro NFT marketplace, driving billions in trades. Reveals what's next. This is a weird article because then it comes over here. Several data aggregators using generated dashboards indicate that Blur has sailed past OpenSea. What? Oh, great pun there. Great pun. Blur made 64.8%. Now Now, I've heard that the Blur transactions are basically doubled. The volume, each transaction is like 2 transactions or something like that. So the volume is double what it technically probably should be. Would it still be past OpenSea if that wasn't the case? Not really sure. Certainly glad to see somebody pass OpenSea. We were going to pass them anyways. But the NFT platform I'm an investor in is going to pass it anyways down the road. But, good to see Blur knock it off the top spot because OpenSea obviously sucks a lot. Okay. Amplifying the royalty debate. Royalties are necessary for creators. I don't know why this is even a thing. Former NBA player Baron Davis says celebs will focus more on utility tokens. I don't know if that's true. Ripple's Stewart Adderati outlines, throw the X up. You're in the XRP army. We're going to talk about, down with the SEC here in a second. Ripple's Stewart Adderati outlines 3 possible outcomes in ongoing lawsuit with SEC. Why is Steve Carell here? I'm not sure. Does he not look like kind of Steve Carell a little bit?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
In morning show.
And by the way, people are talking about, I saw some people ask about Celsius. We're doing a Celsius video. It'll be out tonight. So definitely want to check that out. We're going to go after the UCC. So get ready. They call me out specifically in their plan. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
I'm in the Celsius plan. Now, my name is not in there, but they're obviously talking about me. People will see that. Earlier today, Stuart Alderati recently spoke about the SEC's ongoing case against Ripple. Alderati also criticized Gary Gensler for prejudging the outcome of unresolved issues in a recent interview, saying they should not be prejudging the outcome of unresolved issues. During an interview with Bloomberg TV, Brad Garlinghouse says he expects a decision on the case this year. He's already said that several times. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse joins call for U.S. to embrace crypto. He's already had the call, so weird. I'm not sure why that is news. Said people, they're already leaving American shores. And I can tell you, people ask me, they said this. This will be the last thing I'll say before we bring on our guests. But what I want to say here is that when it comes to the parties, Republicans and Democrats, okay, people say, which party's more pro-crypto right now? After all the people that we talk to, that's not the question. It's not which party's more bullish on crypto. The question is, what areas of crypto are they more pro than other areas, right? So the Democrats, socioeconomic disparity, that's the thing they care about the most. They care about the retail investor being able to invest and not getting shoved out of the system by elites. Republican side lines up exactly what Brad Garlinghouse is saying here. The innovation. Don't let things leave the shore. We want to keep things here. We want to be a leader in blockchain and privacy, and of course, some other issues surrounding that stuff too. But those are the areas they're passionate about. So every single office we met with, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, they're all interested in crypto going forward. There was none of them that were like, we don't really care about this. They all want to be more updated on what's happening, and they all want to push towards something positive for their constituents. So, all right, let's bring our guests here. 16% on XRP coin on KuCoin. Simple. I'm not sure about that, Logan FT. I don't know. All right, here we go. We got Kevin and Nate here on the chat. Good to see you guys again. First and foremost, you guys just kind of want to talk a little bit about who you are and what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on this morning. It's great to be here with all of you. My name's Kevin Tromer. I am a longtime education lobbyist and longtime cryptocurrency investor. In fact, I'm actually talking to you on the computer I built to bind Dogecoin back in 2013. This is my colleague, Nate Bradley. Nate is a longtime cannabis lobbyist, and actually the reason we actually have legal weed in California. So anyone in California, you have Nate to thank for that. And we founded a group called the Digital Currency Traders Alliance. DCTA is the nation's only pro-cryptocurrency consumer protection group, focused specifically on retail investors. And then I know you were talking earlier about how there's no one in DC actually representing retail. And you're absolutely correct. We saw this gap a long time ago. We figured, someone actually has to step up for the little guy. And, we figured between ourselves, we have 25 years of experience, and we wanted to teach the average American the tools of the trade and give them some insider tips on how to actually lobby politicians effectively. Nate, do you have anything to add on?
No, I mean, one of the things we've seen when it comes to getting folks active is, they think their voice, it doesn't matter. And I think it's important for people to understand. It's like, I've been doing this 15 years. I've got a speech impediment. I was an average guy, and I showed up. I helped organize. History is written by those who show up. So your voice matters, and that's the big thing we want folks to work on all this. And we're really trying to also focus on the state level, because the state level is going to be the next big battleground.
Yeah. Well, I think, and of course we have Coinbase with their Coinbase 435, I think it is. So 435 congressional districts, right? And they're looking for a push. And I think it's they're really, look, we would like to partner with them if they're going to go on the congressional, on the state level, or on the district level, because Coinbase is pushing for industry standards. They're not pushing to protect the little guy. So people hear this, they hear this 435, and they're like, oh, it's cool. They're looking for their own interest. They're not looking out for your interest. And I'm not saying Coinbase is bad. I'm just saying they're hyper-focused in what they're doing. And this is not a push for the average person in crypto. Like, for that to be the case, somebody's got to get out there and do it. And it's us. We're the ones that are out doing it. You guys are on the West Coast. We're over here on the East Coast. And even some of these even the Blockchain Association and Coin Center are like, I'm concerned a little bit there for the industry, and everything's for the industry. But what about the investors?
That's one of the main reasons. Oh, here, I'll let.
I was just gonna say you're spot on, man. And we thought it was so funny. We announced our Stop the SEC campaign last week. Within 48 hours of us launching, Coinbase launched this crypto 435 campaign. And I always see
I'm literally in Washington. I'm in Washington talking to Congress the day they release it. You can't make stuff up.
And we always hear people say, oh, your voice doesn't matter. What's the point of doing any of this? I'm like, are you guys stupid? Look, like, Coinbase literally launched this campaign because they're worried about the consumer voice being co-opted. They want to be able to the ones to set that message, set the standard. And the idea that the world's second largest exchange is going to be looking out for the little guy is just laughable, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why we're leading the charge. But look, if Coinbase wanted to partner in some way, and have where they're representing the industry, but on the congressional district, they've got funding and they allow for the retail to be represented, that could be a win-win for them. But I don't know if they'll do it. Kind of the way
our folks,
go ahead.
Our board, like Wendy and John Deaton, they've actually reached out. I mean, when Coinbase announced this, they reached out. So I mean, I've called some friends in the world too to see if we can work with them, because the reality is the more people we do get to work on the exact on things that actually help us, the better it is for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for what you guys are doing specifically, there's the link up here. We have at the top of the chat, joindcta.org. Do you guys have like, do you want to share your screen and show what you guys are working on with the Stop the SEC? I don't know if you guys came prepared for that, or kind of want to talk about how people can join the fight or follow you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just pull up our website real fast.
Okay.
And I'll share the screen. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So essentially, if you go to joindcta /advocacy/stop the SEC, which, honestly, I know that's a long URL. You can just go to our website, joindcta.org. We actually have partnered with a company called Fiscal Note that has given us the ability for everyday consumers to connect directly to their congressmen, representatives. It's like, this is the tool that people in the industry actually use. So it's really simple, really straightforward. Essentially, our idea here is to connect everyday consumers with their congressmen and representatives, and basically communicate how the SEC is harming your investments. The SEC has been, they've been overreaching. They have no interest in creating any sort of regulatory framework that's clear and concise. They only want to do enforcement after the fact. They're letting the bad guys, the big players, get too big. And the ones that really aren't looking out for the little guy. And then they're overreacting after the fact, after some of these big players like FTX crash and burn. So consumers get screwed twice. Before the fact when they lose their funds, and then after the fact when the SEC overreacts and the market tanks. So our idea here is, since your voice matters, and congressmen, and women are really interested in how, you know, they don't want to lose, they don't want to lose their next election. They don't want to get voted out of office. So our idea here is to communicate, look, you know, this is how the SEC is harming me and hurting my investment. So we launched the hashtag Stop the SEC campaign. If you go here, we have a really easy form where all you have to do is, we have a form letter and a script here. All you have to do is fill out your name, email, an address. We don't collect any of this stuff. You know, I saw that Coinbase has something very similar, but they don't actually have a product up yet. So hopefully they follow our example and, you know, copy page from our book here. But yeah, all you have to do is put your address in, and it'll automatically connect you with your senators, representatives. If you want to make a call, they'll give you the phone number you have to do. And then we're just asking people to reach out online. As Nate will probably, you know, he has a little bit more experience here, you know, doing the cannabis lobby. But every candidate, every elected representative is actually keeping track of their mentions on Twitter and social media, so that way they can actually figure out where their constituents are and how they should be voting. So it's real straightforward, real simple.
Awesome. So yeah, I think this is great. I had somebody just text me a second ago and said, "Man, what a great tool this is." I think that it's something that you know, I want to figure out how we can work together on this.
Yeah.
For not just to stop the SEC, but also just in general for people writing their congressmen for different, you know, for all kinds of different stuff in crypto. And Kevin, can you want to turn the screen share off there so we can see your face?
Oh yeah, sorry, I thought I did.
Yeah, there it is.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like honestly, a 7-part process.
No, it's all good, man. We're actually really excited to, you know, we think that since this tool is really malleable and flexible, when you announce your bill next week, we'd love to get a campaign up in support of that as well. We just have to kind of swap out the script, and we can make sure that this tool is used by average retail to really push pro crypto policies across the board.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff we can do with it. So everybody make sure, go check out joindcta.org. And Kevin, Nate, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We're going to be working together a lot more, and really excited about that. People were really excited. I saw in the chat that Wendy's on your board. We love Wendy, obviously. You know, Wendy's out there doing stuff. John Deaton's out there doing stuff.
She's a champion. I mean, we wouldn't be on here.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be on here. You know, I mean, she has been fighting hard. So it's, you know, everybody, you know, everyone's voice matters in this. And, you know, she swung pretty hard. And, you know, it's been a great partner to work with. Well,
you know, there's just a lot of people in crypto that like talking about crypto. Doing stuff for crypto is a lot different. And that's a much, much shorter list. And you guys should respect and support all the people that are out there doing that, of course, to my audience there. But Kevin, Nate, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye. Take
care. Okay, so that's the show. I think
it is.
I think that's the show.
Right.
Guys, super excited to be back. You know, obviously spent a lot of time gone this week. We'll be back on Monday. Full week next week. I'll be here, and then you know, maybe later in the month I've got some other, maybe going back to Washington D.C. for a day or two. Got a really exciting interview I'm going to be doing live on somebody else's channel. You guys are going to have to wait and find out who that is. That will be probably in March sometime. And then I think at the end of March, I'm going to shoot a TV show. So all for crypto, guys. It's all for crypto. It's all for y'all. We're out here fighting hard for you guys. And we're going to continue to do that. You know, this Washington trip was kind of a culmination of a few different things. And was excited to really get that going and make that happen. And, you know, as I told the people in our policy Discord yesterday, people say, so somebody said, wow, Ben, you sure have a pair on you going and doing all this stuff. And I said, you know, the thing is, it's not a pair. I have an army behind me. I have the BitSquad behind me. When I'm up in Washington, I'm representing you, and you guys have a voice. And over this next year to 2 years, you guys are going to find that your voices are going to be heard, just like Kevin and Nate were talking about. Your voices are going to be heard, and we're going to be up there pushing for you guys to be represented. We got a super chat from Rob. Thank you for the $50 super chat. What you are doing in Washington is more appreciated than you know. You're fighting not only for us, retail investor, but a future for our children, where they have a fighting chance of financial freedom. Thank you, P.S. My son loves the book. Well, that is really great. Appreciate you saying that. And that's all we got for today. Be blessed. BitBoy back. BitBoy out. BitBoy out.